Hey, it's Shannon, Element Archery, and if you're currently shooting any of the Element lineup or have some friends that are shooting it, you may have noticed on some of the arrows this big black metal thing on the end of it. It's called a sleeve outsert, and I've had some questions on why anybody would want to shoot that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a rundown on what it is, some of the specs on it, and exactly why it's better. So stick with me. All right. First thing is, what is the sleeve? Well, to understand the sleeve and what it is and how it works, we need to understand the diameter. So what I have here is the Element Quake. It is what is considered a standard inside diameter. It's a .246, 246 thousandths of an inch. So this is kind of the norm as far as size, the inside diameter. That's how arrows are measured. Now, the outside diameter of the arrow is determined upon based on spine, because as the spine gets stronger or a lower number, then your wall thickness gets thicker. So a 400 spine arrow is going to be thinner walled than, say, a 300 spine arrow. So the outside diameter changes on spine, but the inside diameter is going to stay the same. So kind of got sidetracked there a little bit, but so the inside diameter of this Element Quake is a .246. It takes a standard aluminum insert, just like you've seen everywhere else. Simply just glues in the end of the shaft like that. Take your Pharmacon broadhead and just thread it right on in there. And I'll show you once you get that secured in there. Once it's glued, this one's not glued, but that's kind of what you look like. You're going to have your insert will be threaded onto the end of your field point or your broadhead, and it's just slipped inside the shaft like that. So that's what a standard insert looks like on would be a standard diameter, a 246. So now that you have that information, what we've got here is the Element Fire and Ice. Now, the inside diameter of this arrow is .204. It's a lot smaller than the standard 246. I'm going to put them side by side so you can kind of see the difference. It's quite a bit smaller than the other. So what we're going to do is, instead of trying to put an insert down in the side of that, what we're going to do is we're going to use the sleeve. This is standard with Element arrows. Anything that is a .166 or .204 diameter, you're going to get sleeves with it. And the sleeve is made out of aluminum. And what it does is it simply just slides over the top of the arrow shaft, just like that. Just like that. Slips right on it, right over the top. You'll glue that in. I've got a video up on instructions on how to properly install that sleeve, so you don't have any issues with it slipping. But as you can see, instead of going inside the shaft, it just fits around the outside of it. So it's just that simple. And then your broadhead or field point, you're just going to screw it on just like this, right in the top. And there you go. That's how it works. So you have this sleeve outsert on the smaller diameter arrows. Now, why is that? What makes the sleeve better? Well, we're going to jump over and I'm going to show you a couple of reasons why. All right, and so I know what you're going to ask. Why or how is it stronger? What makes it stronger? What makes it better? Well, if you've ever shot anything hard with a standard arrow, with a 246 with a standard aluminum insert, like steel or a rock or something very, very hard. Sometimes 3D shoots, they have what's called an iron butt contest. It's pretty fun. A good way to waste some arrows. But what you'll see is the splintering of the arrow. It'll shove the insert down inside the arrow shaft like this, and you'll see these splinters out here. This is what happens when you shoot a standard diameter arrow into something solid like that. So what I'm going to show you next, I'm going to put up a little video clip. And what that is I took a Element Storm, which is a micro 166 with the aluminum sleeve on it. No tricks, you can see. Just shooting it at my basement wall, made out of concrete. There's a little plaster over the top of it, but you can see on the first shot that the arrow just sticks. Pull the arrow out, ended up shooting it a second and a third time, and did not do anything to the sleeve or the arrow. What it does is it protects it. It absorbs the shock better. Instead of directing that shock into the shaft, it directs it around it. In my opinion, it just takes up a lot more of that initial shock, so it's going to protect the arrow a little better. Plus, that sleeve is resting over approximately 3/4 of an inch of the arrow shaft. So if you get a smaller diameter like the Storm with a 166 and put that sleeve over, it's a little bit thicker walled as you get into higher spines. Makes it very, very strong, very, very strong. All right, keeping in mind that the outside diameter of the shafts can change depending on spine, therefore the diameter of the sleeves are going to vary. You can see the difference between just in different spines and different type arrows. The one on the left is a .166 and that's a .204. But the weights can vary, and I'm going to show you the weight variance in that. This is one of the smaller ones. This is a .219 outside diameter. It weighs 36.4 grains, roughly 36 grains. And one of the bigger sleeves, .263, this one is going to weigh in about 55 grains, 54.8. So the grain weight on the sleeve is going to vary depending on your spine. So, and obviously it's going to depend a little bit upon whether you get a .166 micro arrow, which is in the Storm, or the 204 series, which would be the Fault Line, Typhoon, and Fire and Ice. All right, so there you go. Kind of give you a brief rundown of the Element sleeve, what it's about, how it fits, that kind of thing, the weight on it. And one final thing is what the Element sleeve does is it also helps your front of center on your arrow, or forward of center, whichever term you prefer. They have front of center calculators online. You can check them out. But basically what forward of center is the weight distribution of your arrow along the shaft. Being that the sleeve weighs a little bit more than your standard insert, aluminum insert weighs about 12 grains, it increases your front of center or forward of center, which is aids in penetration. So take a look at that. If you're not familiar with front of center, just kind of look it up, Google it. It'll tell you what you need to know. But the Element sleeve also helps add a little front of center to your arrow, which doesn't hurt anything at all. So you're going to get better flight with it. You're going to get a little better penetration. So check it out, Element Archery, www.elementarcheryusa.com. Or you can find Element Arrows on the Facebook page, or check out the Instagram, and also the Amazon store. So appreciate it. Thank you.